Major setback to Trump's tariff agenda. US Trade Court strikes down Trump's Liberation Day tariffs. Hi, my name is Sneha Biswas and you're watching the Free Press Journal. In a landmark judgment on Wednesday, the US Court of International Trade blocked US President Donald Trump's sweeping import tariffs, ruling that he had exceeded his constitutional authority. The court said that the tariffs imposed across the board on countries running trade surpluses with the US were not legally permissible under existing federal law. The ruling strikes at the heart of Trump's aggressive trade strategy and may permanently alter how future administrations approach tariff-based economic policies. Now let me tell you, what did the court say? A three-judge panel delivered the ruling with clarity, stating, "The court does not pass upon the wisdom or likely effectiveness of the president's use of tariffs as leverage. That use is impermissible, not because it is unwise or ineffective, but because federal law does not allow it." According to the court, while the president has certain emergency powers to safeguard the economy, only the Congress has the constitutional authority to regulate commerce with other countries, a power not overridden by executive declarations of economic emergencies. This is to be noted that US Constitution gives Congress exclusive authority to regulate commerce with other countries. Minutes after the ruling was announced, the Trump administration filed a notice of appeal, signaling a looming legal battle over the scope of presidential powers. Trump, who has made tariffs a cornerstone of his second-term trade agenda, had invoked the International Emergency Economic Powers Act (IEEPA) to justify the imposition of a 10% blanket tariff on imports, with higher rates for countries like China, which hold the largest trade surpluses with the US. The court ruling stemmed from two lawsuits, one filed by the Liberty Justice Center representing 5 small import-reliant businesses and another brought by 13 US states. The businesses include a New York-based wine and spirits importer and a Virginia company that manufactures educational kits and musical instruments. All parties argued that the tariffs would cripple their operations and limit consumer access to affordable goods. At least 5 other legal challenges against the Trump tariffs are still pending in courts across the country. Since returning to office, Trump's tariff-first approach has roiled global markets and disrupted international supply chains. Businesses across the country, large and small, have been grappling with the fallout. Increased costs, uncertain pricing, halted expansion plans, and supply line chaos. Following the ruling, financial markets surged in response to the trade de-escalation. The US dollar strengthened against major global currencies and stock futures rose across Wall Street and Asia. Traditionally, the IEEPA has been used to impose sanctions or freeze assets of hostile foreign entities. However, Trump is the first US president to invoke the law to impose economic tariffs. In early April, Trump declared the trade deficit a national emergency to justify his blanket tariffs. But this week's court decision effectively dismissed that rationale as a misuse of legislative authority. The controversial tariffs were unveiled by Trump on April 2, with a 10% blanket rate on all imports and higher duties for nations with which the US has the largest trade deficits, such as China and members of the EU. However, within a week, several of these country-specific tariffs were suspended following backlash from US markets and global trading partners. In a partial rollback, the administration also reduced China's steepest tariffs temporarily, citing ongoing negotiations for a long-term deal. The appeal will now decide if Trump's use of emergency powers is legally valid. But for now, the court has made it clear the president cannot start trade wars without limits set by the Constitution. What's your take on this? Do you support Trump or do you support the court's decision? What do you all feel? Write your views in the comments below, and if you found this update useful, don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more such explainers on such developments. Thank you for watching.